Yeah, I saw David is finally being arrested. I haven't watched the Law and Crime video, but I imagine they break down everything. We talked about this when it was first starting, and there was a lot of people actually, like a surprising amount of people still defending him. Like, we don't know the whole story yet. David's probably innocent, even though there's irrefutable evidence of him at the very least dating a child. And there was a lot more evidence that came out that seemed like it was pretty much impossible for it to have been anyone else that killed her aside from David. He's like the only suspect. And that was many months ago. So it did take quite a while, but I imagine they were just building their case for it to be just ironclad. Like inarguable. So now that they've arrested him, I imagine that's going to be curtains. No, it's disgusting stuff, bro. It's horrible.
We are following major breaking news tonight. Singer David has been arrested in connection to the murder of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas, according to the LAPD. This is a case that stretches back more than 2 years to when she was last seen alive. Her decomposed body found in the trunk of David's Tesla late last year.
His fans came up with a delusional theory over how that was possible that involved like the craziest mental gymnastics that you wouldn't find in even like the most unhinged of fiction, about how like it was like cartel that actually did it in order to frame David, and they stuffed her body in the trunk of his car because why would he do that in his car? It doesn't make sense. David's far smarter than that if he was actually going to kill somebody. It was crazy. And I'm so curious what those same people are saying now. When I talked about this when it was first starting, I actually got a lot of shit from chat pushing back like, this is crazy, Charlie, how could you possibly think that he could be even remotely guilty in this case? And we don't even know if he was dating this child, even though, even at the time, back in whatever it was, September, October, whatever, even at that time, there was tons of evidence about him dating a child. And then everything that came out basically confirming it was him that killed her. And still refusing to accept it, like, well, if he did it, he'd be arrested by now. Thinking everything's like the movies where they fucking rappel in and break through your windows the second that something pops up. They have to build a case. Granted, this took a lot longer than I would have expected, but it was never going to be instantaneous anyway. Bro even left clues in his songs. True. He himself was even dropping the breadcrumbs. They weren't even subtle. It's not a full-blown conviction or anything yet, you're right, but it is a arrest, and I imagine because it's taken this long, they have compiled irrefutable, inarguable evidence. I don't think he's getting out of this one. And again, there's literally no other suspects in the murder of this girl. None. It's just him. Like, unless they brought in a suspect that I didn't see it somewhere along this way, like they fucking found the Muffin Man or something that they're saying, like, oh, it could have been this guy, which I don't think they are. It's literally only him. He's gonna get less than 10 years? I don't think so. I know a lot of people think that he'll probably get off easy because he's a celebrity. I don't think so. This is a very serious murder case. This is like this is a big case. I don't think he's getting off, with a slap on the wrist. I really don't. I thought his security was also a person of interest at one point. I don't think so. I think that was only ever like a TikTok conspiracy. I'll double check real quick. Well, actually, maybe it's in this video. Maybe they'll talk about it. Because I'm pretty sure that was just TikTok weirdos that were trying to cover for him or something, fucking smoke screen for him. Like, check the security guard. It was probably that guy.
Case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart.
But I could be wrong. It's been many months now.
All right, let's get to this breaking news coming in right now from Los Angeles. A bombshell announcement by the LAPD. I want you to take a look right here. This is the post that was put out by the public information officer with the Los Angeles Police Department on social media announcing the singer, known as David, had been arrested by homicide detectives in LA, quote, for the murder of Celeste Rivas. Now, David, his real name is David Burke. He is now being held without bond, and he hasn't been charged as of yet. The LAPD says that his case will be presented to the DA on Monday for filing consideration. We're going to go over the process here in just a moment. This is a case that has taken months to get to this point. I know.
Is that real? I don't remember that. David's lawyers legit said murder was not the cause of her death. Did they actually say that? Wow, you're right. David's lawyers claim he was not the cause after homicide, saying... Here, hold on. Let me read through this and get the quote. Okay, no, not exactly what they said. I see where you're getting it confused, though. They're basically saying that since no cause of death in the teen's case has been announced, that they're ruling out that it could be David, according to his lawyers, more or less. It can't be David. They haven't even ruled the cause of her death. That's an interesting angle to try, though. Well, no cause has been determined. As she was, like, chopped up in the back of the fucking trunk of his car. We don't know if it was murder. Yeah, that was an interesting little read there.
Following this, and now it seems like the next step, a major step, is still something that's going to take some time before we learn a lot of information about this case, and we'll be talking.
This is the full quote. Let us be clear, the actual evidence in this case will show David Burke did not kill Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and murder was not the cause of her death. Is that the full quote? Because what I was just reading stopped after evidence will show that he was not the cause of her death. Did they actually go on to say murder was not the cause of her death? Go back to the article. Yeah, I don't know where you're seeing that, because in this, it stopped after saying that he was not the cause of her death. Let me check somewhere else. Let's try the BBC. Never mind, can't try the BBC because you have to pay money just to even look at it. I hate that shit. They need to be shut down ASAP. According to KTLA, they stop also at the David Burke was not the cause. I don't know where you're finding that, to be honest. I don't see that.
To former federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani about that here in just a moment. But as we focus now on this announcement, it may feel like a long time coming because David was announced as a suspect in November of 2025. Now, before we get into what will happen next, I do want to get you up to speed on this case because it is one that has been going on in some ways months, in other ways years. According to the LAPD, this all started in September of 2025, and that is when officers responded to an impounded lot in Hollywood after there were reports of a foul odor coming from a vehicle, a Tesla. Now, that vehicle, it had been towed days earlier after it was found on a street, abandoned, it seemed, in Los Angeles. Now, police say that vehicle, that Tesla, it was registered to David Burke. And many people in the music community know him by just one name, David, D4vD. Now, when detectives searched
Why'd he say
that
it like
car,
that?
they found a body. And that body was later identified as a 14-year-old girl, her name, Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Her body was in the front storage area of the Tesla. That's like the trunk of the vehicle. And it was in a state of decomposition, law enforcement said. Investigators have said that Celeste may have been dead for weeks before she was discovered. The teen's mom told investigators that she was last seen and heard from in April of 2024.
See, so like, I don't think there was ever another suspect. Not officially. I think it was only ever David. Let me see. What's this?
January of this year, 2026. David's alleged close friend, a man named Neo Langston, was arrested in Montana for failing to appear as a witness in a Los Angeles grand jury investigation. And a week after that, Langston was spotted entering a Los Angeles courthouse and reportedly testified before the grand jury. But since then, for the most part, frankly, crickets in this case. No real developments, of course, until now. Joining us.
Okay. The Tesla absolutely have security footage on those cameras. They record everything. It would prove everything. That's what people were saying at the time, too, but I don't think that shit ever came out. I know. Like I said, it took a while, but it's always going to. They can't just instantly go in. They have to build the case. It definitely took longer than I thought it would. We're doing Pragmata once I finish Mouse PI. I want to do Mouse PI first. Looks like some people are actually rewording what the lawyers are saying. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, that shit happens all the time. You playing more Mouse PI tonight? That's the plan. TMZ keeps talking about how they think the cops are fumbling the case by arresting too soon. What? In what way? Also, how would TMZ even be able to have that perspective? Do they have, like, on-staff lawyers or something? I feel like they waited an extremely long time with what I feel mountain of evidence. TMZ sources do be mythical sometimes, though. TMZ sources are incredible. That is crazy how they get all the stories before everyone else. I get that, but that doesn't make any sense. They arrested him too soon. 6 months later. Have you seen the UPS Airlines Flight 2976 crash? Which one was that? That one's not. I think that's a few months old, right? This shit is always terrifying. You see the BAFTA Game Awards winners? Some very surprising picks there. I did not. What do we got? Best game, E33. Animation, Dispatch. Artistic Achievement, Death Stranding. Audio Achievement, Dispatch. British Game, Atomfall. Debut, E33. Evolving Game, No Man's Sky. Family Lego Party. Game Beyond Entertainment, don't know what that means. Game Design, Blueprints, Multiplayer, Arc Raiders, Music, Ghost of Yotei. Narrative Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, new IP South of Midnight, performer in a leading role, E33, performer in supporting role, Dispatch, technical achievement, Yotei. They really fucked with Dispatch here, huh? I mean, nothing too crazy. What's like the surprising ones? This kind of falls in line with a lot of the others, except for maybe animation. No Silk Song in any of these, though. The music and narrative. I didn't play enough of Yotei, so I couldn't tell you if the music actually is that incredible. But narrative, I could totally see Kingdom Come. Doesn't look like they have a best RPG category, so it's gotta go somewhere. PC Stop Killing Games testify in EU Parliament. I did. He did a great job. Does Mouse PI feel like Doom at all? No, not really. It is very boomer shooter, but it's not like Doom. Just the same genre. You saw the parenting influencer who accidentally ran over her own toddler with her car, and now she's milking the situation on social media? What? Parenting influencer says she accidentally ran over her son with her car. Huh. She's spinning this as like a positive thing? Kelly Hopton Jones. I was taking Lily to get donuts before her dance performance. Brian was staying at home with Henry and was going to meet us there. Helped Lily into the car, waving goodbye. Between our car and Henry, who was in the garage, matter of seconds, our son was run over by our car. I was driving. Our neighbor stepped in immediately, took Lily, rushed to the emergency room. What? Brian was staying home with Henry and was going to meet us there. Lily in the car was waving goodbye between our car and Henry, who was in the garage. How fast did she fucking pull out of the garage? Jesus, did she like floor it out of there? She fractured his pelvis. Jesus. Yikes. Whoops. Oh, that was the end of the story. So she made this post the same day it happened. That's pretty cool, I guess. See Ice Spice got in a fight at McDonald's? I did see that. Any news on Judge Nathan? Nope. Nothing new. Yeah, I'll be playing Pragmata after Mouse PI. I already finished Replaced. I finished it today. Heard about the Florida doctor facing manslaughter charge for moving the wrong organ during a surgery. Yeah. But apparently that's happened more than once, so maybe I don't know this one. Someone mentioned that the other day. This happened not too long ago from what I remember, but it looks like it happened again recently. Florida surgeon charged after 70-year-old patient died following removal of incorrect organ. They removed his liver instead of his spleen. Crazy mistake to make. He was probably too busy filming TikToks. Yeah, I thought he did a great job in Parliament talking about stop killing games. I thought he did great.